10 businesses you should not start if you want to get rich quick, don't start a business. You already know this, don't you? Business is not a fun sport. It comes with a lot of low and high moments. So generally, you shouldn't start a business if you have unrealistic expectations like getting rich quick and living your dream of total freedom. But if you have realistic expectations and want to start a business, there are businesses you want to stay away from if you don't meet certain criteria. You want to watch this video to the end because identifying these businesses will help you make more informed decisions and avoid unnecessary heartache. While you're here, remember to subscribe to After School Africa for more insightful videos like this. 1. You do not have huge capital. There are many businesses you can start with little capital and grow from there. This kind of businesses are often not capital intensive to start. In fact, many success businesses today started with little to zero capital. But a lot of businesses come with huge startup costs. You will often need to invest a lot of money and spend years trying to break even. If you do not have access to huge capital or investors, you should not start a brick-and-mortar retail store or a fancy restaurant. 2. You're a very shy person. People often mistake being shy as being an introvert, but that is not entirely true. You can be introverted and also confident. Being an introvert is mostly about how you re-energize. An introvert usually lives a social activity exhausted and needing private time to regain energy, while an extrovert gains energy from social interaction. So, let's not mix this up. An introvert can do just about anything an extrovert can, but being shy is a social behavior. Some people are born this way, while others learn them. If you consider yourself a very shy person, business that depends on a high level of personal interaction and social skill may intensify your social anxiety. Examples of such businesses include events planning, comedy club, hoteling, and real estate agency. However, never say never. Robert Kiyosaki in his book Rich Dad, Poor Dad talked about joining the military because he wanted to develop self-discipline and also getting into sales because he wanted to overcome his shyness and develop the confidence to deal with rejection. So, if you're a shy person, you can choose a challenging business or career that will give you the opportunity to overcome your social anxiety. 3. If you're an extrovert. Do you consider yourself an extrovert? People have different personality traits and can be identified based on the way we handle social interaction. This has an effect on the kind of business that works best for each person. While introverts will try to avoid the crowd by default, extroverts prefer to meet and interact with people. Tell an extrovert to start a business that requires not seeing the outside world and he will see himself in a cage, while an introvert will be glad to embrace it. These are some of the differences in personalities. It does not mean that one is better than the other, it's just an individual preference. So, as an extrovert, some businesses you want to avoid include software development, writing, forex trading, and the likes. 4. You do not want to waste your time and money. Imagine setting up an internet cafe in 2020. How many people still go to the cyber cafe to check their email and browse the internet? The percentage is almost negligible, except maybe in rural areas. Most people will rather use their phone to check their email, browse the internet, or access numerous productivity applications. If you commit your hard-earned capital to start an internet cafe, your chance of succeeding is very slim. Such businesses have been overtaken by innovation and have established alternatives. Other examples of businesses you shouldn't start if you don't want to waste your time and money are newspaper, search engine, social media, or taxi-hailing app. The last 3 examples already have industry giants that trying to compete with them will need enormous funds, innovation, and talent pool. It's not impossible to compete with Google, which already controls over 90% of internet search, or Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and other social media platforms with billions of users, or even Uber and the likes. It's not impossible, but do you really have what it takes to compete with these giants? 5. You do not like reading. If the last time you read a book was to write an exam or test, there are businesses you don't want to venture into. In fact, you have to fall in love with reading to succeed in today's world. You may get away with poor reading habit in some businesses, like petty trading and rural farming, but you will barely stay afloat in most other businesses. Some people would rather be caught sleeping than picking up a book to read. Unfortunately, there are a few businesses you can succeed in without forming the habit of reading. With that, if you really plan to grow in whatever business you want to start, you must develop effective reading habits. Don't start any business if you are not willing to read and learn. 6. You want high profit margin. For some businesses, $1,000 investment can ideally make a profit of $500, $1,000, or even $5,000 within a year, whereas some business will barely make you $120,000 from the same amount within the same period. The latter kind of business could be said to typically have low profit margin. You are required to invest substantial amount of capital and expect to break even within the next 5 to 10 years. Some of such businesses you shouldn't start if you want high profit margin are real estate, grocery store, retail store, manufacturing, and farm produce raw material sales. 7. You want to be paid your worth. A few years ago, you could start and build a successful website design company. You have access to a pool of businesses and brands that need a website, and the skill and resources to build a website was scarce. You needed to understand HTML, CSS, PHP, and maybe Java. This gave website designers the power to charge what they believed they were worth. Today, anyone can set up a professional website in less than 24 hours with open source applications like WordPress, Joomla, Magento, and so on without any programming skills. This has lowered the entry barrier and created unimaginable competition. The result is the inability for small website designers to charge enough money to keep business afloat. If you want to be paid your worth, website design isn't a very nice place to look. 8. You do not want to get your hands dirty. If you don't mind getting your hands dirty on every typical workday, there are many businesses out there for you to get into. Businesses that involve evacuating human excreta, handling dead bodies, and such yuck-inducing services. These businesses have a fat income that could get anyone to consider changing career. Notwithstanding, some people will give up anything just to ensure that they did not get anywhere close to them. Such businesses include garbage collecting, farming or ranching, truck driver, mortician, plumbing, and the likes. 9. You want to help people. Businesses often have mission and vision statements. You're expected to have a purpose for your business, and the ultimate goal of most businesses is to help people and make the planet a better place. A lot of businesses will give you such opportunity to contribute your quota to the advancement of the human race. If you believe this to be the essence of doing business, then you want to stay away from businesses that will steer you in the opposite direction. Example of such businesses include casino, gambling, porn site, and betting. This kind of businesses are suited for people who believe the sole purpose to be in business is to make money. 10. If you want to save the planet. A UN report states that if the biggest 3,000 companies were forced to pay for the use, loss, and damage they cause in our environment, they would have lost 1/3 of their profit. There is a new movement of creating eco-friendly business over environment-polluting ones. Many nations of the world are on the race to phase out fossil fuel combustion vehicles in the near future to replace them with electric cars. This is in a bid to reduce carbon dioxide emissions, which is harmful to our environment. Climate change is an environmental threat, and fighting it can create businesses in the process. If you share in the belief to only involve in business activities that are environmentally clean, then you want to stay away from businesses like plastic production, tree felling, coal and petroleum-related businesses. Bear in mind that we are not advocating against any of these businesses. You have the freedom to choose a business based on your interest and perception of the business. It's all up to you. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, now's a good time to hit the subscribe button. Until next time, your success matters.